Here we are back live after 2 weeks of pre-recorded shows.
It's nice to have that spark of live theater back
Yes,
in our
yeah,
lives again.
knowing that people are watching right now, depending on us for entertainment.
Yes, people like our mom. Hi, Mom. I know
Hi,
you're
Mom.
watching. I miss you. I have to call you, see how things are.
You haven't called her in a while?
It's been a couple days. I've been a little bit busy, and I need to call her.
Oh,
So
wow. I spoke to her.
this is why I try to separate business and family, professional stuff. But
Okay.
I made a terrible error.
Sorry I went there. Okay, let's pretend we're not even brothers. Then, just keep it.
I think people are going to know somehow. I think they're going to
They'll
figure it out. Yeah,
Maybe the title of the show gives it away.
maybe so.
You know what would be fun is if we had other people fill in for us a lot.
Let's do that.
Unrelated people filling it. We just brand it.
And they have to imitate us. And then we have to guess which one is who.
Okay, then it's definitely going to be Jim Conroy and Joe Narciso doing the whole show every time.
That'd be fine.
That'd be fine.
I mean, we're both wearing black sweaters, baseball hats, and glasses. So we're
That's
away. We're staying true to the brand, the brother brand.
I can't even tell us apart right now.
How
you doing?
I've been good. I've been pretty busy. Amelia's starting rehearsals in a show. Her show from before lockdown is coming back. It's very exciting. But that means that I'm doing all the stuff that I don't know how to do. Like
laundry,
manage all these things. I don't know how to do them. It's terrible. She does so many things, and she's better at them than I am.
Yeah.
And it's been a while. So she's in rehearsal, and I'm like trying to do my stuff and then keep everything together. And it's I don't think I'm doing a very good job.
So you're lost. You're feeling lost.
I'm not lost. That's really an extreme. I'm a little overwhelmed.
Okay.
I know where I am.
I'm lost.
Are you lost?
I'm lost. I got an audition this afternoon that I have to tape tomorrow. 12 pages of dialogue. I'm like, I don't know. I want to be the guy who had a stroke and sits in the wheelchair for 12 pages and doesn't say anything. I don't want to be the guy in the jury room who's talking and talking and talking.
Yeah, I understand that.
Yeah. So trying to figure out,
because that's also, is it really a jury room?
Yeah, it's going to be a jury room.
Yeah, so that's a whole list of names and things and cases and dates and moments that are very specific that you have to learn.
It's basically the role is I'm Lee J. Cobb in 12 Angry Men in this episode. A nicer.
You're not quite that angry, I hope.
I'm not quite as angry as Lee J. Cobb, but I'm the holdout. I'm the guy
wasn't he like the angriest?
He was really angry.
He was super annoyed. He was really annoyed anyway.
Really annoyed, but has one of the great temper tantrum leading into breakdowns ever at the end of that movie. It's pretty.
I haven't seen that in a while. I should check it out again.
Yeah, he does. He has a great monologue at the end of that movie, and he tears it up.
Tell me about the birds. What about the birds? Yeah.
Tell me about tell me about the bird. Yeah, I think tell me about the birds.
No, I'm kidding. That's Escape from Alcatraz.
Oh yeah, tell me about the birds and the rabbit. Tell me about the rabbits.
Tell me about the rabbits, George.
Tell me about the birds.
Yeah, that's his. Yeah, yeah. He wouldn't hurt a fly. Every last line from
all in one. Yeah, that would be great. Are you watching anything other than what we're watching? Or no?
I've watched some stuff. Yeah. We got into this show called Ghosted, and with Craig Robinson and Adam Scott. Excuse me. That's been fun. Half-hour comedy.
Oh, I should check that out. I love Adam Scott.
Paranormal. It's like a goofy X-Files. It's very funny. Very funny. Watch that. Watched a couple of episodes of the girl across the street from the woman in the window by the train.
Right. Yeah.
And like it. We're watching that. We'll probably continue. That's very funny. I love how sly it is.
Have you had the wonderful experience of having conversations with people who say, "No, I don't like it. I don't like it." And you're like, "Why?" And then as they start explaining why they don't like it, you realize that they don't
realize it's a joke.
that it's a satire.
Yeah. I haven't had that experience because I don't talk to anybody. You're the only you're my conversation a week I have.
It's kind of a great moment when you realize that they don't know that it's a satire.
That's a little sad. I mean, look, I'm not saying that your friends are sad. I'm just saying that it's a little sad, and it's also sad that we live in a time where most shows are almost that ridiculous,
right?
On purpose.
Yeah, and they're not friends of mine. I mean, they may have been friends of mine, but
not
the
anymore.
Moment they say that, they're not friends of mine.
No, they're out of they're off your Rolodex.
They're off the list.
How about
did you eat anything good this week?
I did, because I made some decent food. I made a very darn good steak, if I do say so myself.
Okay.
Thank you, cast iron steel pan.
Oh yeah.
Cast iron steel. That's not a thing. Cast iron pan.
No, it is.
Good Lord.
I didn't want to say anything.
The Teflon steel, that
Yeah.
that stuff.
Yeah.
That was good. And I made today I made a chicken soup. That is a new recipe that is incredible. That I do things too. I make additions to it, and it's very good. I made that.
Okay.
And I only say it that way because it's a recipe. Get this. This is free for everybody listening. You make it in 30 minutes. Chicken soup.
30-minute chicken soup.
Yeah. And you know why? Because you start with ground chicken.
Oh.
Which is a genius idea if you think about it.
That's I make chicken soup actually even faster than 30 minutes. I can make it in about 3 minutes. I open a can of soup, and I've got chicken soup right there. Not impressed.
I don't know what to do. I don't actually simply don't know what to do. I'm just gonna sit. I'm gonna wait until this moment passes and see what happens next.
I'm so embarrassed. Can you rewind live television? Is that possible to do? To rewind?
You can, but not this. What we're doing. It's because it's just not television.
People saw that, and I can't take it away.
No, it's there forever, and will be there for the history of the internet.
Yeah, and I have no pride, so I'm not even going to edit it out of the podcast. I'll let myself be embarrassed.
So you win the soup award, the Speedy Soup Award.
The Speedy Soup.
Did you see anything yourself other than a Danish detective show?
A Danish
about somebody who moves back home and discovers that, lo and behold, there's murders in their small town.
No, I'm still watching Shetland.
About the ponies.
About the murder ponies.
Murder ponies.
A murder of ponies on Shetland. But boy, does it make me want to go visit the Shetland Islands. Oh, just
you need some sweaters.
Want to get some sweaters. It just looks so beautiful. When people aren't getting killed, it looks quite beautiful there.
That part of the world is stunning. Is it all coastal?
It's only coast. The Shetland Islands, there's actually no part of it that's not coast.
That's my point. My point is, when I said is it coast, I meant it is coast,
and that's all.
And is it now? Is this what are the Shetland Islands? Are they off the coast of Scotland, Ireland? Where are they?
Off the coast of Scotland.
I believe part of Scotland, or they own.
They're Scotland. So when things get really bad, Glasgow sends the intrusive team of quote experts to interfere with the local constabulary, but of course the local constabulary always saves the day.
Are you talking about in real life in the Shetland Islands or on this TV show?
Both.
Okay.
Both. But the lead actor is a fellow named Douglas Henshaw, who is spectacular. And there's another regular on it who I've noticed he's ubiquitous in a lot of British television. Mark Bonner, who's just a fantastic actor, and who has, hair that either you or I would kill for. Actually, he's just got like the best hair. He's like the
At this point, you'd be surprised the crappy hair I would kill for.
Yeah, me too.
It wouldn't take this guy's hair.
Wouldn't take much. Yeah.
I'd like kill for Harvey Firestein's hair right now.
Okay. Oh boy. Wow. I'm not gonna touch that one. Harvey Firestein. I thought I forgot Weinstein mixed up. And I was like,
God.
you don't want his hair.
No.
Yeah.
Firestein.
Okay. Yeah.
He's an older entertainer right now. That's the joke. He's an entertainer.
Got it.
Who used to have hair like me, and now he does. Please don't.
This is going badly. Maybe we should start talking about a movie.
Okay. Yeah, let's do a little reset. So okay, this is our last UK Hammer horror movie.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just say this right now. I'm voting for another marathon of Hammer horror a little down the road, because there are 19,000 Hammer horror movies, and so far, honestly, I've enjoyed all of these.
Yeah, I would second that vote. And since there's only you and me, I think the motion carries.
Great.
This is part of a trilogy, this movie.
I learned that.
Yeah.
And what were the other ones?
The Vampire Lovers in 1970 and Lust for a Vampire in 1971.
I didn't and Godfather 3.
Yes.
I didn't see those and didn't know that this was. I thought I was a horror fan, and here we go. The whole landscape of horror that I didn't know. Isn't that a cool thing about, in all seriousness, being a fan of something? Isn't it cool that no matter how much a fan you think you are, how much you know about stuff, every once in a while you just get introduced to something and you're like, how did I miss this?
Yeah. I didn't know any of the Hammer stuff.
But I like walk around talking about horror movies. I thought I knew horror. Like I'm sure, for instance, every once in a while there's a writer of detective novels that pops up and people are like, wait, you don't know so-and-so? And you're like, no. And they're like, they've written 37 books in here,
Yeah.
Unless that doesn't happen to you anymore, because
that completely happens to me. And then I feel like an idiot.
But it's such a great part of this, because it just never ends being interesting. It's just never not interesting.
Yeah. No, we got to come back to Hammer horror after I torture you next month.
Well, that'll be the real horror.
Yeah.
The real horror is coming. But this is our last UK horror for a while.
Yes.
And today's movie, do you want to break it down for people what the stats are here?
It is 1971's Twins of Evil. It is a Rank Organization production of a Hammer horror movie, which means that it has the shirtless guy hitting the gong at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah, who was, in fact, that guy was William Thomas Wells, better known as Bombardier Billy Wells, who was a heavyweight British boxer.
Really? I didn't do any research on that. That's fantastic.
He was the third rank gong master. The other two weren't quite as notable, but
wow.
Bombardier Billy Wells, yeah.
I think I'm going to start referring to certain people that way. I'm going to, I'll get to school in the morning. I'll say, "Good morning, Gong Master."
People they might all take. Who knows how they take that? You better keep it to Bong Master. It's much safer. Safer
Wasn't
bet.
Chuck? What's his name with the bong? That was the Gong Show. The Gong Master.
Chuck Barris was the real Gong Master.
The Gong Master. Twins of Evil follows the story of twins, Frida. Who are they? Frida and Maria. Frida
yes.
and Maria Gellhorn, whose parents have died, and so they are sent off to a girls' sort of finishing school in Vampire Land, which is
They
where
go to Vampire Town, which is where their uncle lives.
Yeah, their uncle lives in Vampire Town. Their uncle, the wonderful Peter Cushing, who now is playing Gustav Weil, if we were in America, but we're not. We're in Vampire Land, so his name is Gustav Vile. And he's a very puritanical and dresses like the old Puritans fellow who just runs around the woods burning witches, burning young women.
Ladies, just pretty much ladies.
He just runs around burning women because there's lust and there's sex out there, and there must be vampires, and there is a Count Karnstein who may be some trouble. Who's yeah. And of course, Maria is very good, named as she is after the Virgin Mary, and Frida is not very good, and she looks with lust and longing at Karnstein Castle, and she runs away from her uncle and gets involved with the vampire, and hilarious hijinks ensue. And that's really kind of all there is to it. I mean, it's not heavy on plot.
No, not really.
And there's a school teacher at the girls' school who is immediately in love with Maria and not in love with Frida, because for some reason he's the only one who can tell the twins apart.
And he's in love with Frida. He falls in love with the fiery one.
No, I think he falls in love with the nice one, and the fiery one tricks him. She goes and after she gets vamped out with Karnstein, she comes back and tricks him, I thought.
I think she tricks him. I think both things are true. I think she does trick him, and I think he falls in love because his sister says, well, how can you tell the difference? Because they're twins, and what difference does it make? Which is an amazingly thing to say. Like, which difference does it make which human being you fall in love with?
Yes.
Well, and he says, well, they're very different.
Yeah.
And Maria is very nice, but she's boring, and Frida is, has got this fire. She's got this thing about her that's really crazy. So he's kind of into the darkness himself, I think.
Oh, see, I thought it was the other way around, because when they switch places, when the twins switch places, and Frida assumes Maria's identity as Maria is being hauled off to be burned, he goes to visit her. I thought he's thinking that she's Maria. I thought it was her purity of soul that he was attracted to.
I don't know. I think this is already way deeper than they thought about it.
Yeah, definitely. So he's in love with one of them. We can't decide which, and one of them turns into a vampire, gets bitten by Count Karnstein, and Count Karnstein himself is not a vampire at the beginning of the movie. He's just a bored, randy dilettante who wants action, darkness, and he's bored with goodness and blah blah blah.
Well,
so he engages in a sacrifice, and the blood of the virgin that he sacrifices drips down through the floor onto the crypt of an ancient vampiress who comes back to life when the blood hits her, and then she comes up and bites him, and he vamps out.
Yes, that's all true. Those are all things that happen in the movie.
Yeah. I'm perceiving that you think my recap is wanting.
Well, I'm stuck on the idea that you described this guy as just kind of like a bored dilettante, and you described Peter Cushing as puritanical, when in fact they're both serial killing homicidal maniacs. They're in fact.
Yeah, but I'm the guy who likes Mike Hammer and wants to hang out with him.
I'm not surprised. I said I was delighted. I was just thinking about it.
Okay.
Yes, these are all things that happen. I don't know if you sat there with your jaw hanging open in amazement as much as I did during this movie.
Oh, I did. I said my jaw was open in amazement at the 47-minute take during the opening credits of the woman being burned at the stake for
Insane.
forever and ever and ever.
Insane.
As the opening credits rolled.
Yeah, it's really insane. This one, this was this was the latest Hammer horror we've seen. The other ones were like late 60s.
Yeah.
So we're in 71 now.
Things have
and
changed.
they were spicing it up. Let's put it that way.
They did spice it up. The earlier ones they're all bodice rippers.
Sure.
But in the previous ones, the bodices were maybe
not really ripped.
Frayed.
Yes,
they
a bit
ripped. They were slightly frayed.
Dislodged. They were a bit dislodged, maybe, but not.
And in this one, the bodices
they're ripped,
torn.
It's a ripped bodice kind of thing.
Yeah.
So be forewarned, it is that kind of movie. I coined the term today. I was very pleased with myself. It's gothsploitation, I think, is a correct way to put it.
Very nice.
And so there, even in scenes where they're not ripping bodices off, there are barely any bodices around. Sometimes just
you can't find
very
a bodice.
Few of them, very little of them. So there's that going on.
There's also, I learned a new word watching this movie. I think in modern parlance, the word is prostitute. But apparently back in these days, it was a very long word. The word was the woman who lives alone in the cottage and who has many husbands. It's all one word.
It's as if they didn't even have a word.
But I think
it means Vampire Town. I think that's what you mean. Yeah.
The woman who lives alone in the cottage in the woods and has many husbands.
Yeah. I mean, I could see in a primitive way what you're trying to get across here is. Yes,
which I didn't get, because that would imply that if she sleeps with them, then they're married. Like she's married to all of them.
Well, there's no word for girlfriend in Vampire Town.
Okay. Yeah,
there isn't.
No.
I mean, it was shocking to see those two sisters arrive in the clothes that they had on, because their parents had died tragically, and they were supposed to be in mourning for all year wearing black, and they didn't wear black for more than a 2-month period. So they were very frowned on in Vampire Town.
And Peter Cushing sees them in those dresses, and he says, "What kind of plumage is this for birds of paradise?"
Yes. Yes. Tudor Gates. Let's hear it for Tudor Gates writing some of those amazing lines.
Great dialogue. Great stuff.
We're also like really, just in terms of tone and vibe, Hammer had seen some Italian giallo horror movies at this point.
Okay.
They had started off not paying any attention to that, and then the interim Italian horror and spaghetti westerns had become huge, and this is like a spaghetti western almost. You know, it really has that same. It's like a giallo movie, but the fact that it's a period piece made it feel like Once Upon a Time in the West, but a horror movie.
Yeah.
Incredible cinematography, like just fantastic.
And there's some Sergio Leone shots, zooming in on the eyes.
The constant zooms, amazing zooms, and complicated oneers and zooming. Oh, it's so cool.
The sequence in the bedroom when he realizes that Frida is not what she appears to be, and they give that zoom in on his eyes.
I have vampire zoom eyes written down.
Vampire zoom eyes.
I do.
Do you have anything written down? There was some symbolism during one scene that I wasn't quite sure that I understood. and I think maybe I need you to explain it
let
to me.
Let me try to wonder. Let me hold on. Let me try to pinpoint. Where is this? Is there kind of a love scene? Perhaps.
Perhaps it's a love scene.
Is there's a prop? There's a prop.
There's
candle.
a prop.
Yeah.
Yes, there's a candle that is lit.
I'm not going to discuss this further with you for legal reasons, but you need to go. Everybody needs to see this because it's quite something.
Unbelievable. I couldn't believe what I was watching.
Yeah, it was really overt, very overt. And this movie is unapologetically titillating and overt, and like, I mean, you really do get the feeling like this is really the whole reason that Hammer existed, was just so that, this kinds of things could happen.
Yeah. But Peter Cushing, let's talk about Peter Cushing's performance in this movie. He tears it up even more in this movie than he did, I think, in Frankenstein Must Be Destroyed. He cranked it up.
He's incredible. He's just one of my favorite movie stars. He's so good.
And it's amazing how he commits to these movies. I mean, he could be working with the best directors in the world, and he's treating this like, I'm doing Dr. Zhivago. I'm doing,
Yeah, he gives 100 and well, whatever that is. He just gives all of himself to it. And like I said in our last episode, the fact that he really committed, because he just didn't want to insult the audience. He felt that they deserved his complete attention. And that's just so cool.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the kind, it's the prototype for the kind of stars that we have today who mouth off all the time about fan service, who talk all about it, right?
Right.
But you kind of get the feeling it's a corporate gig anyway, and somebody else really does the fan servicing through social media, and the actor's not really involved too much.
Yeah.
Guys like Peter Cushing lived that, they lived it every day for 35 years of their careers and never made a deal out of it. They just was like, no, this is my job.
Yeah. Yeah. A real craftsman.
Yeah. I'm glad you dig him, because I got interested in him a few years ago through some of these movies, and was just really, I ended up being really surprised that his stardom didn't really get outside the genre world, like that other people aren't really talking more about him, because he's just so damn good. Like, put him in Henry V with Olivier, or you'd be like, of course.
Yeah, fits right in.
An eye.
So again with the ADR.
Yes.
Some pretty amazing ADR, because apparently the Collinson twins, although their last name is Collinson, happen to be from Malta, I believe.
That's what I read.
Unbelievably thick accents.
Yeah, completely dubbed. And I didn't notice. No, I noticed.
You didn't notice because your eyes were elsewhere, I think. You were looking.
I was distracted, but there's a lot to see in this film.
Lots
of art direction.
Yes.
In this film.
Yeah, there is amazing art direction. But speaking of amazing art direction, the teeth have come a long, long way.
They have.
Since Brides of Dracula.
They have. Many things have. The teeth are on point now, no pun intended. And the bite marks, the makeup of the teeth marks in the neck are much more realistic now.
Yeah.
They used to just be two little like mosquito bites.
Yeah. Now they look like they build them up and have an indentation.
Yeah.
So it looks like there's a hole in there.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
Although apparently they're done on a place in the neck that isn't physically possible for the vampire to have bitten into, which is funny. Apparently they're like lined up, like perpendicular with the jawline,
right?
So it looks aesthetically cool in the shot, but they couldn't actually get his teeth there.
They'd have to be sideways.
Up
and down on the jugular.
Yeah, Werner Herzog knew this when he made Nosferatu.
Yeah, definitely. But that was some great stuff. I have so many moments in this movie that I love.
Me too. What are your top 3 moments?
I have about 10 of them. I have about 10 top 3 moments.
Okay.
The blood trickling from his sacrifice down onto Merkala's crypt.
Okay. Well, yes. Can I just stop though and say that sequence,
Yeah.
that whole sequence is, to me, the best thing we've seen all month. That, to me, just in terms of sheer filmmaking, editing, all the design coming together, that like satanic ritual where they summon the vampire ghost from with the blood, all of that, incredible. Like, to me, that was the best of Hammer we've seen. So yes, totally on that whole sequence.
The moment that we decided we can't talk about with the candle. Anton's the first time he sees the twins is a pretty great shot. Because he looks at the twins and it's like that they hung a curtain in front of one of them or something. He can see one of them, and the other one, it's like it's a real "I only have eyes for you" moment, but they do it literally.
It's a cool in-camera effect. Yeah.
The Count's reaction to seeing the cross on her breast when he comes into the bedroom to try and bite her, and there's the cross, and he does the classic rearing back and the hand, lovely stuff. Again, the zoom in on the eyes when he's alone with the girl he thinks is Maria, and he looks into the mirror and he can't see her. The burning of the eye and the machete in the head.
It gets very George Romero at the end there.
Really good violence. The decapitation.
That's like, I'm convinced what happened here is that Quentin Tarantino put that in Kill Bill 2. Or Kill Bill, was it Kill Bill 1? Kill Bill 1.
When what's her name get
Lucy Liu.
Yeah.
That was the same thing happened. That was one of the most intense, crazy, I don't want to say decapitations because it makes it sound like I sit around watching, just fast forwarding movies until it's decapitations, which is not what I do.
No.
But it's a really shocking and well done effect.
I love how he just sends her out for it though, too. It's like, here, let's go out here, and then he sends her out, and he hangs back like to see if she gets decapitated. It's like, oh, my girlfriend got her head cut off. I think I'll go the other way.
It's just moments after he shoves her to the ground really violently, and then says, "Okay, come on, let's get out of here."
Which is another moment I wanted to talk about. There's no reason for it.
Yeah, there is. I thought because it's her uncle that's coming for them. She's bringing this upon him.
But he's the one who, well, no, she went after him.
Dude, he's a vampire. He's not going to take the news well.
He still behave.
He's just going to be pissy about it.
Oh,
he is.
He's not a classy vampire like Frank Langella. Frank Langella wouldn't do that.
Wouldn't shove anybody around.
He was a gentleman.
Well, this is not Langella Town. This is Vampire Town.
Yeah. Do you have any favorite silly moments? Oh wait, let's hear your favorite good moments.
Oh God, it's just chock full of them. I mean, all the shots of the Puritans riding through the forest, with those long lenses, and those incredible pine forests that they had, and I mean, they're just incredible. A lot of it felt like a Kurosawa movie. It just feels amazing because it's like beautifully shot in natural light up in the woods up there, wherever the hell they shot this.
Vampire
and it's a really good art, beautiful art direction and production design. Just a really a slightly more sophisticated, more modern feeling movie than the earlier ones. And this is a different director. This was a guy named John Hugh or Ho or Ho. John Hough.
Can you spell it? How do you spell it?
Hough.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I think it's Welsh and it's pronounced Fladel.
Yes, exactly. Not a director who I knew a lot about. He didn't do a lot of films that I'd heard of, not famous stuff. This might have been his most famous movie. Same with the DP. Like it's kind of a surprisingly brilliantly made movie considering it's not made by, I thought there'd be like, oh, Ozzie Morris did the sets by, it was like the first movie that some great DP, it's like, no, just happened to be everybody on point making this movie. And I loved the way that whole opening looks. I'm a huge fan, as I said, of that ghost, that vampire ghost that approaches after the blood drips on the corpse. I mean, it clearly Monty Python got their Death Eats the Salmon Moose character from that, that creature, but it's terrifying. I mean, it's really, really scarier to me than other similar effects in movies like not Dante's Peak. Oh, not Dante's Peak. It's the Guillermo del Toro movie, Widow's Peak or something. Anyway, he did this gothic movie where the designs were very CGI, and I just love this in camera stuff. It just looks fantastic. What else do I absolutely love? I mean, I really, really like the scene actually where Peter Cushing's wife, played by Kathleen Byron, kind of lets him have it. I thought that was a great scene.
Yeah.
Very strong. Played from both of them. I thought, she was really great. She was very famous for being in this movie Black Narcissus, about the nun who goes crazy in the Himalayas. And I thought she did a great job here, not as a nun or somebody gone crazy. And Peter Cushing, I thought, did a great job of being much more layered and complex with that character in that scene, because he was really kind of at war with himself about this and starting to maybe think she had a point, that maybe he shouldn't go around murdering just everybody, all the ladies that he sees. He's like, maybe she's got a point.
Yeah, because he does just go there. They ride through the woods and find women and decide they're a witch, and there's nothing that you see. Some of these women are just like, oh, I'm just going through the woods.
They're just like walking down the streets.
Oh, burner.
Yeah, and the movie is crazy that way, but that's kind of the things I love about it, because it's very this isn't a scene I loved in it, but one of the things that I loved about it was that it was pretty anarchic morally until you meet that school teacher, and he eventually becomes, through more scientific reason,
right,
I guess, somebody who's, you can say is a hero, kind of. But both factions in this town are awful. Like, the Count is a horrible becomes a vampire, but before that he might as well be. He just murders people in satanic ceremonies for fun, and he tries to bring the devil into town and all kinds of stuff.
Just a dilettante.
He just is a lazy guy. He's a rich lazy guy. And and the Puritans are literally like a gang of Hell's Angels who just go riding horseback and kill people and set them on fire. I mean, it's absolutely horrible.
Yeah, I think
they have a lot of political power, so there's nothing anybody in town can really do, and you don't really. And the sisters are also kind of mysterious. One of them is good, but one of them may be evil.
Yeah,
maybe.
She just wants to go out and have a good time.
Totally understand it, but she also is attracted to the dark side. Let's face it.
Yeah. I think this, this a bit of interesting trivia is that Arthur Miller saw this movie and then went home and wrote The Crucible after seeing this.
This was the inspiration. I did not know that.
People think that it was about McCarthyism, but it wasn't. It was his.
Didn't Hawthorne write? Wasn't it the Scarlet Letter after seeing this film?
Seeing this movie? Yeah, definitely.
It was it Hawthorne? I'm asking the writer because I wouldn't know.
Yes, Hawthorne wrote the Scarlet Letter.
Thank you. I pulled that out of them nowhere.
Right.
God.
Pretty sure it was Hawthorne.
Let's leave it at that. Let's not even Google it.
It's not.
I want to say that my favorite thing about the movie is that Jimmy Fallon made a better vampire than I thought he was going to.
Oh my God, I can't believe you said that because I had Jimmy Fallon down for the recasting. I had Jimmy Fallon as Count Karnstein.
I mean, that's my favorite thing about this movie.
It was Jimmy Fallon, or if not Jimmy Fallon, John Stamos. One or the other.
Stamos would be good too.
Oh, I can't believe that you said the same thing I did for the recasting.
Wow, yeah. So that's kind of my favorite thing about it. I didn't know he was in British movies in the early 70s. I didn't know that.
Can you imagine what Jimmy Fallon would do with this? He would tear it up and still wouldn't be as big.
No.
as our friend Damien.
Not even
Damien
nearly.
Thomas and his hair. Oh my God.
The other thing that I love, let's see, is I love that when he finally turns her into a vampire, and he has her first meal there is a blonde lady who's tied to a wall, and he says, now you can eat, you can feast on what you like, and she chooses to go for it in a very unique way. Her choice. She doesn't bite on the neck. She doesn't bite on the arm or the leg.
I'm not even remembering that.
You're not?
I'll have to rewind.
Yeah, yes. She yes.
Okay. I'm gonna check that out.
The event, it evokes the title of the film.
Yes, gotcha. Okay.
I love the fact that, the art direction, and I love the set design, how you have this kind of the difference between the Brotherhood Lodge, the Puritan Brotherhood Lodge, and the Count's, Satan chamber with the fireplace with the demon statues in it and stuff. Yeah. I mean, they're just fantastic sets, and so interesting, like comparing and contrasting these two completely evil forces who are dire enemies, and neither of them are any damn good. Like, it's just awful.
Yeah.
From both sides. I thought that was a really very modern movie. It was a very, every other Hammer movie I've seen has been good and bad, trying to vanquish good or bad, a mixture of both. But this was there was nothing good. It was a very nihilistic movie.
What about silly moments? I have a couple of silly moments.
My favorite line is the silliest, I guess, is this moment where the Count it's coming down the stairs with her, and all hell's breaking loose, and he says, I often wondered if this would happen, and it has.
There you go.
Yeah, my favorite.
I had two. One is when the girls run across get frightened because they run across they're in the carriage, and the men are out hunting wild boar.
Mm-hmm.
And they clearly couldn't get a wild boar or even a mechanical wild boar. So they have a snarling, snorting, grunting big ball of hay being dragged across the ground.
By a rope, yeah.
By a rope. But apparently the boar we're supposed to believe there's a boar inside it.
Yes.
But
leaves magnetically clinging to it somehow. Yeah.
Just a big tumbleweed snorting and snarling.
It is pretty hysterically funny.
That was hysterical.
Yeah.
And the other is when the townspeople are coming for Count Karnstein, and his mute servant Joachim starts miming for him that the people are coming, and he does his thing in mime, and Karnstein says, they have crosses, And Joachim nods and does a whole other mime thing. And Karnstein says, and steaks?
I know.
And then Joachim does a whole other mime thing. And axes?
Straight out of Mel Brooks.
Yeah.
Like literally out of Young Frankenstein.
Yeah, just absolutely hysterical.
There's a great Benny Hill moment that's really funny. There's a point at which Peter Cushing he's enraged because somebody's gotten away from him or somebody's insulted him, and he's screaming, and he references the title of the movie. He says something like, God save us from these twins of evil, and he's screaming about his nieces.
Yes.
And Twins of Evil it's the title of the movie is kind of like the title of The Birds, it has meanings inside of meanings here.
Yes.
And so I think that they knew this because Peter Cushing screams, "Save us from these twins of evil." And they just cut to his henchmen, the three of them. And there's just that one kind of blonde guy in the middle. Yeah. And he just kind of makes like a little Benny Hill face, like just like a slightly dumb guy face. And they lay on it a second too long, in
case we didn't get the point.
Yeah. Anyway, that was pretty damn hysterical.
Yeah.
But again, like this isn't a funny moment, but just this Cushing's death is incredible. Like when he gets thrown off that balcony and then his landing on the stairs and rolling halfway down.
And it was him.
Yeah. Incredible. Like it's like better than Hamlet stuff going on there. It's great.
Yeah. That was in fact it was very Shakespearean.
Yeah,
like
wasn't it?
Pose on the stairs.
Yeah.
You could almost hear somebody crouching down and saying, "In flights of angels sing thee to thy rest."
Something like that, yes.
Yes. What about double feature? Do you have a double feature on this?
I do, and I'm going with Footloose.
Oh, yeah, I see what you did there.
I think this and Footloose would be perfect.
Kevin Bacon is Count Karnstein, tearing up the town.
Yeah.
And John
Lithgow is Peter Cushing.
Yeah, definitely. Okay. I went the more obvious route, Dead Ringers.
Okay.
Another twin.
Another twins movie.
Yeah.
Different in the sense, of course, though, it should be said that in Dead Ringers, it's the same actor playing both twins.
Right.
And in this movie, it's real twins playing twins.
And then wasn't there a movie where they had twins? There's been some TV shows where they've had twins playing one person.
Oh, that they do a lot. Yeah. Particularly with little kids who can't stay up, who can't work for as long.
Right.
So it's a way they get around that. Yeah.
Yeah. What about Who Am I and Who Are You?
I'm gonna I don't want to be insulting because this is really this is who I think you would be cast as and who you'd play particularly if this was a theater piece.
Okay.
But I think you'd be Dietrich, the Count's servant, the put upon guy who's like just about to get axed if he doesn't get his act together.
Okay.
Because he has a couple of close-ups that I think you'd have killed in. When he's like, I'm going to hold you responsible. And then he just he kind of swallows a little bit. It's very funny in the moment. Anyway, that was my pick.
I put you in that role.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
You're completely wrong because I am definitely the jailer who they hypnotized.
I was the jailer.
No. Are you serious?
Yeah.
I'm definitely the drunken jailer who gets hypnotized and doesn't realize.
But actually, who I think we would both be cast as in reality?
No.
Non-speaking grunting men in Vile's band.
Yeah.
Just in the crowd going, "Oh,
yeah." That's probably true. Yeah. That's probably true. There wasn't an easy thing to find for roles for us in this movie. I was disappointed in that.
Okay, we've done a little bit of the recasting. We both clearly agreed with Jimmy Fallon as Count Karnstein.
Well, actually, no, I didn't. I mean, that's fantastic. But I had somebody else picked for the Count.
Who did you have picked?
Because I have, I'm doing like a whole package tentpole repackaging in this movie with a cast that's like, interconnected thematically with all these roles.
Okay.
So I wanted to go with Jason Momoa as the Count.
All right.
He's testing really well, Matthew. Don't make that face. He tests great.
I'm trying to get the connection.
Love him.
No, I love him. I love him. I just don't get the thematic connection. Has he played something?
No. You're misunderstanding. The group of people I've picked all work together in an ensemble.
Oh, okay. All right.
No, it's not like it's not like, that kind of thing where there's intermediate.
So
Jason Momoa, because I also think he kind of looks like a beefier version of this guy. I mean, he's like a modern version of the Count. I want Michael Fassbender to play Peter Cushing's role. I want the twins. I want them to be played by two different actresses that will digitally make look the same.
Okay.
And we're going to meld Haley Steinfeld and Chloe Grace Moretz, and they're both going to play the different twins. And then, we'll CGI them to make them look similar.
Okay.
You don't seem to like any of these so far, but
no, I do.
I want you to understand already the studio is behind it. Like most of the guys like it.
With you.
And all the names are testing great, just great.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
So a little more enthusiasm to show them, because they're going to see this tape and they're going to be like, why isn't Matthew on board with this casting?
Well, then I'm not going to be hired. I'm going to be out if they're behind it.
Just trying to help. Anyway, I think that the hero, the school teacher hero, is Michael C. Hall.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm going to stop and let you go for a while.
No, I'm with you.
Okay. No, I just really don't want to keep going until I hear some of yours.
Okay. As Weil, I have Russell Crowe.
Okay.
I have Anna Taylor-Joy as both of the twins.
I like that.
Jimmy Fallon as the Count. Michael Ealy as Anton. Do you know Michael Ealy?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Anton, though. Tell me who Anton is.
Anton is like the good teacher.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah. Billy Magnuson as Dietrich. Do you know Billy Magnuson?
I don't know if I know who Billy Magnuson is.
Billy Magnuson was in Get Shorty.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
The guy who's the idiot, but then when he gets on set, he's a brilliant actor.
I absolutely know who that. Yes. He's great.
Joachim has to be played by Michael Myers.
By Mike Myers?
Mike Myers.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not Michael Myers from
That's what I was confused.
No,
Mike
Myers. Yeah.
I didn't know how a character could be played by another fictional character. I didn't know how that was going to work.
Mike Myers.
Okay. Yes, good.
That's his Joachim.
I like all that. I think for me, the hero's sister, the school teacher, should be Tina Fey.
Okay. Yeah.
Cushing's right-hand man, Will Arnett. And I think Viola Davis should play Peter Cushing's wife.
Yes.
And I think that the Dietrich should be Stephen Root.
Oh, excellent.
Okay.
Stephen Root can play
anything.
Every role in this movie, as far as I'm
pretty much on him. Yeah, he could just do he could do a radio show of the whole thing, of all the characters.
Yeah. There's nothing that Stephen Root can't do, as far as I'm concerned.
I love, what I did love too was those damn purple titles. Those great 70s purple titles. That was good stuff.
Do you have a title for the sequel?
I don't. I was going down the wrong road, and I'm going to let you speak.
Yeah. No, I have one, but I can't say it on the air.
It's my problem.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's this movie brings out the worst in all of us.
Yeah. Yeah.
It truly does.
Definitely.
It's nice. I must say, compared to the kind of exploitation that we've gotten used to over the years, seeing such kind of like good-natured comparatively good-natured silly exploitation is a bit of a relief, although it's still somewhat exploitive. Although many of the women I've seen interviewed in this the Hammer archive interviews and stuff seem, pretty proud to be part of the whole thing, and I'm sure it's case by case. But
how did you feel about because this revealed something new to me about vampire lore that I didn't know, that that when the vampire is stuck through the chest with a wooden stake, that they turn into paper mache. I didn't know that before seeing this movie.
Yeah, vampires are made out of beehives. I don't think you knew that. Yeah, it's a British thing.
It was,
yeah,
it was pretty great.
And I like how the blood is different. Like the virgins have beautiful like maple syrup blood, and the guys all have just kind of like disgusting, chalky,
I'm
blood.
not. There's actually science behind that.
Is there?
Yeah.
Well, tell him to get away from there. Yeah, I was sorry that there weren't better roles for us. I felt a little let down.
Yeah, but the Jimmy Fallon moment makes it all worth it to me.
That's pretty great.
I just fantasize about him doing that.
Would kill in that part. He would kill in that.
I actually think him playing it as campy as he could possibly play it wouldn't be that different from the way it ended up being played.
No. I mean, except this guy probably did it in 3 takes, whereas Fallon couldn't get through a take it would take him months
without laughing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. But I would like to see him take a role on like that.
The blood coming out of the vampire's mouth at the end when he gets speared was very effective.
Yeah.
For me.
You like that?
Yeah, it made me a little nauseous.
That's great. That's what it's supposed to do.
It's good stuff.
Yeah, I thought it's weird because I really loved all these. I really loved all these movies. I guess maybe of the 4, do you have a favorite of these 4 we've done?
I think it might be the first vampire, the
Brides of Dracula.
Dracula might be my favorite.
It was great.
There was some great stuff in that. How about you?
I don't know. It's a tough one. I think it's between Curse of Frankenstein and this one. Maybe leaning towards Curse of Frankenstein because
Frankenstein must be destroyed.
Or Frankenstein must be destroyed. Sorry. Maybe leaning a little bit towards that one only because it was. I love them dealing with the classic Frankenstein mythology like that. Yeah. Just dealing with it like that was cool. But I think that this is the best made one. Maybe it moves along really well. It's really well edited, and doesn't have any drag points. And all the other movies had some periods of where got a little draggy for me.
Yeah.
And I think that they really just, this was the tightest art direction, all around production for the most part. So it's a toss up for me. But they all had like way more to offer than I really anticipated.
Well, I'm glad we did it, and I'm looking forward to when we revisit Hammer.
Cool, me too. We'll put a list together for either end of the year or maybe next Halloween or something like that.
Well, you may want to do it in April just to get back at me for what I have planned for you next.
No, because you would enjoy this.
Oh, that's true.
I'm not going to get back at you with something you would enjoy. That would be
true.
Pointless. Okay. Although, thank you for trying to trick me into doing that.
Okay.
Oh, sure. Yeah, that's a great idea.
Yeah, that's a great idea. So coming up next month, though, March. In March, we have the first day of spring. And in spring, a young man's fancy turns to love. So we're going to do 4 romantic comedy movies. And I think we're going to kick it off with Notting Hill, Hugh Grant and Julia Louis-Dreyfus. No, I'm sorry. Not Julia.
I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know. Mr. Mr. McFutterson and Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Mr. McFutterson?
Mr. McFutterson.
Yeah. Julia, the famous one.
Julia Roberts?
Yeah, Julia Roberts.
Yeah.
And
isn't that actor Nigel Brinsenstein? What's the guy who plays his friend? He's a good actor.
Oh, I'm forgetting his name, but he's wonderful.
Okay.
So Notting Hill.
At least he's in it.
Then we're going to follow with Pillow Talk.
Oh, we're going back in time.
A little. I figured mix it up a little bit. Pillow Talk.
Pillow Talk. Who's in that?
Peter, Rock Hudson and Doris Day.
Okay, great.
Then How to Steal a Million, which you may enjoy. I've never seen it.
Whose film is that?
Peter O'Toole and Audrey Hepburn.
Oh, okay.
How bad can that be?
Well, you're certainly not. Okay, and what's the last one?
This is where I drive a stake through your heart.
Yeah, because so far I'm not feeling any. Well, a little bit of pain, but not too much.
Notting Hill's causing you a little bit of pain,
a little anxiety.
The other two, I think, may be interesting.
So just cinematic. I'm interested in seeing films from that period anyway, and those actors. Yeah. So yeah.
But then to drive a stake through your heart, Bridget Jones' Diary.
You dirty bastard.
Yeah.
You dirty bastard.
Yeah.
You had to do it.
Yeah.
You really did, didn't you? You had to pick, you went right for the jugular.
Colin Firth, Renee Zellweger.
I'm already upset that it's ending on that note. Okay.
On that note.
All right.
So we've got that look forward. But for next week, Notting Hill.
Understand, if you're new to this, Matthew is picking these films, precisely to drive me mad, because I'm perceived as hating rom-coms, and there's some truth to that, but not really. But I think he knows the kind that I'm really talking about, and he was careful to pick one that sounds to me like it's my kryptonite.
Yeah, but except I think all of these are going to be better than 27 Dresses, in your opinion.
I hope so, because that was a low point in my life. And I've had some creepy times.
And you've had some creepy times. Yeah, we won't get into it now, but you've had some stuff. So join us next week for Notting Hill. And let's see if Tony's head can stay.
I think I'll be okay through this one. I think I can make this one.
All right. See you next week.